My husband doesn't know I plan to leave him. I have been married for almost 5 years. We have one child together. After we got married, it was like a full 180 in his behavior. He went from being attentive and sweet to no affection whatsoever. He gets super defensive when I bring it up or when we have fights in general. He is short-tempered even with our child, who is 2. He also lets her walk all over him. I'm a SOM and enrolled full-time in college. I will be finishing my first degree in a few months. Currently, I take care of all the finances. All he does is bring in the money. I make sure bills are paid and keep him in check with his reckless spending. If not monitored, he will blow through his paycheck and credit card balance within days, leaving nothing for gas and personal expenses for ourselves and our kid. I have done everything possible to get him out of debt and start rebuilding his credit, including his current credit card. Now, it's a fight to get him to watch our kid for me to do school work online classes currently. Everything he wants to do is made to be more important. In some ways, I feel he knows I'll leave when I finish school. He has cheated on me a few times now. The most current was over these past holidays and involved sending pictures of his credit card to the girl he was talking to. I found the messages shortly after he did it and canceled the card before any damage was done. He has since lost trust in keeping the card, so I hold on to it now. This last time, I felt a change in myself. While I was mad he did it, I felt no other reactions or emotions. I no longer trust him, but until I get my degree, I'm stuck where I'm at. I've told him as much and said if he wanted any hope of saving the marriage he has until I get my degree. I have no intentions of staying with him. Once I have my degree, I plan on paying all our debt, my student loans, and paying to take my name off our car title and transferring the loan into his name only. This all will ruin him as he has no understanding of how to pay any of the bills and has had someone do it for him even before we got together 8 years ago. He will more than likely lose the car even though he can afford it currently. As for our kid, he isn't much of a father. I have to tell him when to change their diaper, when to work on potty training, and when to feed them. All he really does is play too roughly in my opinion and yell. It will be a stipulation in the divorce that he won't have to pay me anything if he signs over custody without a fight. He doesn't see or speak to his 2 other kids, so I know he won't fight me on this. He pays child support for them, and I know he doesn't want to lose more money to child support. If he chooses to fight for once, then I'll have more than enough evidence to get custody and whatever child support the judge grants. I know how this sounds and I don't intend on keeping him from his child either way, but he willingly chose to not keep in contact with his other 2 kids. I don't see ours being any different and I will not allow him to walk in whenever it's convenient for him, which is what he did to the other 2. I apologize for the long post. I've been sitting on this for a while and needed somewhere to get it out. Edit: a lot of you are making assumptions based on your own thoughts. So let's clear some things up. Things with his ex-girlfriend were rocky before I came along. He attempted to make an effort to see his kids before we were married until she took off to a different state with no warning and cut any form of contact. We weren't able to see or hear from them for over 2 years. After she came back, we saw them as often as she would let him. He didn't cut contact until after my kid was already born. Yes, there were red flags about his behavior before we were married. I was young and naive. I really didn't know what to look for until a few years later. I even brought those flags up to him, and every time since, I call him out on his behavior, and I don't sit by and take it. Some of you have been really nice and supportive, and I appreciate all of you. Those of you offering advice and your own thoughts and wisdom on a snapshot of my situation need to go back and read the rules for this sub. I did not come here to get opinions. I came here to get something off my chest, as the title of the sub suggests.